spotlight AI-powered investments. It's a new ETF. We want to hear more about it. Came out about 2 weeks ago. Doug Clinton is with us, founder and CEO, Intelligent Alpha. Thank you for being here. So LIVR is the ticker symbol. What kind of investments are we talking about here? This is a fund driven by AI?
It is driven by AI, and Intelligent Alpha, our new company, is the first firm that we think is built from the ground up to use modern large language AI models to do all of our investment selections. So we use GPT, Claude, and Gemini, the three major closed-source AI models, and they act as our investment committee. They do analysis on stocks, and to your question about what kinds of stocks do they look at, for Livermore, the LIVR ETF, they look at stocks across the globe over $1 billion in market cap. For this first portfolio that they've created, it's focused on AI, ironically, but also China and energy, which have been great calls. Timing can be lucky sometimes, but it's been the perfect call the last 2 weeks.
Amazing, right? I mean, it's like they have a sixth sense or something. And when he's saying the investment committee is not a bunch of people sort of overruling what ChatGPT and Gemini and all that are saying. The committee is, in fact, these models, right?
That's right.
From time to time, you may have to step in maybe for a regulatory reason or what?
That's correct. So we do have a human oversight layer, so think of it as sort of a redundancy or security feature, really. But the models, they're doing all the work, all the analysis, all the recommendations, and then a human will say, okay, this portfolio passes any regulatory issue, and it represents what the model should be doing.
I mean, at some point you must get a pick and you go, like, whoa, no way, you know, where you put your hands in your head and you say, oh my goodness, I can't believe you picked that. I mean, sometimes there must be these wow moments, and you're only in the beginning of this, right? You're embracing this idea overall.
That's actually some of the most fun part, is we manage dozens of different strategies with our AI committee. And I've learned, as the human who does oversee a lot of these, that even when I cringe, a lot of times I end up being wrong.
Right.
And the AI has a reason, because it's looking at things through its superpower, which is to eliminate all the bias that I may have or other human managers may have. And it's seeing things, I think, in a different way that we don't quite see them.
And so right now, some of the top holdings, Pinduoduo, Meta, Nvidia, Taiwan Semi, Procter & Gamble, Tencent. How often are you changing the top holdings in the fund?
So the AI committee will review the fund roughly quarterly. So we're not trying to go out and do frequent trading. I know some people, when they hear AI, and I think this can be a misconception, is they think, oh, the AI is just trading all day long, it's finding little signals here and there and trying to generate small gains. We're trying to approach this game with a longer term investment horizon, and so quarterly has been good in our year-long testing we've done so far.
So let's go through some of the picks. A lot of folks have been picking Meta lately, and that's a top pick and has a heavy weight in the fund, right?
It does. It's one of the top picks, and we've actually asked AI about a few of these picks. Why do you like a certain stock? And what our committee has said to us is that Meta is the company that, if you look across every company that's investing heavily in AI, they've probably done the best job so far in terms of actually monetizing their investments through greater engagement on their platform and also better ads, and that's translated into greater revenue. So that's why AI likes Meta.
That is amazing. I love how you say, you know, when we ask our committee, I mean, we're in a whole new space. I asked you earlier, are you scared? Are you nervous? And you said, no, I'm embracing the whole thing. And, you know, oddly enough, picked Chinese stocks on here that ended up soaring, right? You have Pinduoduo is also a big name in the stock, in the fund.
That's right. At PDD, Nicole, is actually now the biggest holding because it's been on such a run the last week. And what I think is interesting about that, you know, you ask sometimes, do you see picks and do you maybe cringe a little bit? China's an uncomfortable place for a lot of investors to invest. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of them may be political, philosophical, whatever. But what AI does really well is they don't think about the world like a human. They don't have emotions or biases. They just look at the stocks and they try to pick what they think will work.
You know, Monster was, when you said, let me look over 25 years for winners, Monster always used to come up. I don't know if that's still the case because it had a bumpy road of late. But you just had a buy rating out of Citigroup, a new $62 target. It's at $51. And it had a gap down on earnings, but has been clawing its way back. You have Monster in your top 5, right?
We do, and the rationale from AI is that if we go into a period where the economy is maybe a little bit slower, AI actually thinks energy drink consumption may be pretty resilient, even in that world. So if the economy slows, people probably won't stop drinking Monster. And then on top of that, there's a stronger growth story there still behind energy drinks that other traditional consumer cyclicals and staples just don't have.
Yeah. And so with the other funds that you're managing, I mean, how many funds are under your umbrella there?
So LIVR is our first fund under Intelligent Alpha.
Right.
We filed for 4 other ETFs that we plan to launch over the next 6 to 12 months.
I see.
And then we also have another fund, which will be more of a private hedge fund structured fund that we plan to launch in the next quarter as well. So the object is to have multiple strategies and to serve every investor for any need they might have.
So the ETFs that are coming, what kind of ETFs are we talking about that you see that there's going to be, obviously you wouldn't be launching them unless you thought there was demand for these. Are they thematic? Is it sector? Is it double leverage? What kind of funds do you think people want these days?
We think about it in sort of 2 core buckets. One bucket is core, we call it, and so that is ETFs that will compete directly with like the S&P 500.
Right.
So kind of core, large cap, broad portfolio exposures. And then we also have what we call agile strategies. Livermore, LIVR, is more of an agile strategy where the AI has more freedom to kind of go in and out of different markets, in and out of different market caps, and be a more active investor.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Doug. Thank you so much.
Likewise,
we'll continue to follow this one. Doug Clinton, founder and CEO at Intelligent Alpha. Thank you.
Thank you.